Hi, I'm doing my distance education lesson plan on QR codes, and QR codes are a great resource to use in classrooms. You can actually see a picture of some of my students in the background here, and they actually all have iPads this year. These are my 7th grade American History students, and because they all have iPads, they have a QR code reader app, and we use this quite frequently within my class. But what I can do is create a digital image that they can scan with their iPads that will automatically link them to a URL, to a document that I want them to see, to a video, to just about anything. So I'm going to show you today how to create a QR code and then incorporate it into a lesson plan. So the first thing to do is open up your web browser. And there are many ways to create a QR code, but one of the best tools that I've found is called the QR code generator, and I have it bookmarked here at the top, but you can see the website, and it's http://www.the-qrcode-generator.com. So I'm just going to click on that, and you can take the website straight from here. But you can see on the right side here, this is a QR code. And what my students can do with their iPads is just hold up their iPads, scan this code, and it will digitally link them to another image or whatever I want it to link it to. So we're going to create a QR code. And let's say that I wanted to have them research something about George Washington. So I'm going to open up another tab here, and I'm just going to Google George Washington. As you can see, there are hundreds of results for George Washington. But let's say that I wanted them to look directly at the whitehouse.gov website, which would be the White House's official website. And the White House's official website has biographies about all of the 44 presidents. So let's say that I wanted them to read this article and then maybe write a reflection about what they read. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the web address and go up to edit and hit copy. I'm a Mac user, so I use Command-C quite often. Then I'm going to go back to the QR code generator, and in the box where it says enter text to share here, I can go back to edit and hit paste. And you'll notice that as soon as I pasted in the website address, the QR code on the right side changed. And this digital image is programmed the way that it is, obviously, to link it to certain things. So every time you enter in something, it will change that image. So if I were to add another word, you can see that the QR code itself is changing. Okay? So with this QR code, I'm going to now save it. And I'm just going to label it George Washington, and I'm going to leave it as a PNG format. And you'll notice that it downloaded right here at the bottom left-hand corner. You might also have to go to Finder or something like that to find your downloads, depending on what kind of computer you have. But I'm going to open this. And for me, my default has been set to preview. So within preview, I'm going to take the crosshairs tool and I'm going to highlight this QR code. And you can see it kind of gives me a moving dotted line, so I know that that is the image that's been highlighted. And as long as you have the 4 corners of the QR code, you shouldn't have any problem scanning it. So to have a little bit of room on the edge is nice though, just to make sure. And again, I'm going to copy this image. And then if I were to incorporate it into a lesson plan, let's say that I wanted to use this as maybe bell work for the day. So I'm going to open up a Microsoft Word document. I'm just going to go to a blank one here. And this is just a regular text box that's kind of the default setting on Microsoft Word. And I'm just going to paste in this image. And you can see there's the QR code there. Okay, I can make it as big as I want to, as small as I want to. Typically, if I'm projecting this on my overhead projector, I like to make it somewhat big so that my students in the very back of the class can hold up their iPads and still get the same scan and don't have to come walking to the front. So let's say I wanted it to be that big. And then I'm going to insert just a little text box here. and I'm going to write down bell work. And I'm going to say, read the article presented and write 3 reflective sentences on George Washington. Okay, and again, I highlighted that to make the font a little bit bigger so that, like I said, my students in the back could see. I'm going to decrease it a little bit just to make it look a little nicer. So my students in the back could see. You can make it look however you want to. And then I'm just going to save this as George Washington. And I'm going to save it to my desktop just for this project's sake. Oh, and I'm going to replace that. Okay, so what I would do from there is just when class was started, I could either like paste this into a presentation, or I could just project it on my screen simply like this, and my students would be able to pick up the QR code straight from their desks on their iPads. And then they would be able to read the article and write a reflection sentence on that. So it's a really great little tool for our students to use.